Last time these two teams met up less than a month ago on this floor, Governor State had a thrilling 1-point victory. St. Francis today trying to get their revenge. They've already clinched a spot in the national tournament. They've already won a conference championship this season and now trying to pull off the double with the regular season and the tournament championship. The Jaguars win the opening tip. Governor State going from left to right to get today's game rolling, wearing orange. St. Francis in white. They'll be going from right to left. First possession of the game, it's Tyrell Isom. Passing back to Isaiah Tolbert. Tolbert, junior guard from Chicago, gives it up inside. Vincent Davis banks in the first 2 points of the game. Davis is the leading scorer this year for Governor State, averaging 17.2 points per game. 2-0, Jaguars lead. Aitor Anabadarte posting up on Davis. He backs in. Anabadarte steps into the paint. Nice pass to Merrick Small, who finishes at the rim. And Small ties it up 2-all. Small, a 59% shooter on the season. Averages just over 9 points per game. He gets the scoring started for St. Francis. We're knotted up in the first minute. Governor State takes their second possession, and an offensive foul called on Tyrell Isom. Isom handed the ball off to Javon Johnson, and then he gets called for the moving screen. So St. Francis forces the turnover. And they take possession in the backcourt. Governor State putting on a little token press. Isaiah Tolbert shadowing Delshawn Sims down the floor. Knocked towards the sideline, out of bounds, last touched by the Jaguars. Same starting lineup as usual for the Fighting Saints. Sims, Joffrey Nunnally in the backcourt, along with Merrick Small, Aitor Anabadarte, and Ramel Davis. For Governor State, it's Isaiah Tolbert, Javon Johnson, and a front court of Vincent Davis, Tyrell Isom, and Vincent Mays. St. Francis trying to pick up their 25th win of the season. Delshawn Sims drains the three. The Saints are 2 of 2 from the field. They lead 5-2. Governor State takes possession, 15-15 on the year. They were one game below 500 in conference play. Off the glass, short from Javon Johnson. Saints on the move. Perfect start to the game for them. Knocked out of bounds, last touched by Anabadarte. St. Francis turns it over. 18 minutes to play first half. 5-2 Fighting Saints. Jaguars finished the season strong. They have won 5 of their last 6 games, including 2 in the conference tournament. Knocked away from Isom, he gets it back. Over to Vincent Davis on the left wing. Davis works against Aitor Anabadarte, tries to find his way inside. Gives it up beyond the three-point line. Johnson picks up his dribble, gives to Isom, 6 to shoot. Isom picks it up, gives to the cutting Davis. Davis blows by Davis, but can't finish at the rim. That was Vincent Davis blowing by Ramel Davis. Off the backboard, no good. Governor State has not scored since the opening possession of the game, about 2.5 minutes ago. Here's Ramel Davis driving from just to the left, and he banks it off the rim, no good. Step back three, Vincent Davis for the tie. It's 5-5. Vincent Davis, very impressive sophomore forward, has all 5 points for Governor State so far today. Just his 9th made three-pointer this season. And a foul called on the other end. It's Vincent Mays working down low against Merrick Small. Saints will inbound from the baseline. Last time these two teams met up, it was about as tight as a game can be. 18 lead changes in that one. Aitor Anabadarte off the inbounds pass. Has us going back and forth early on today. The Saints and the Jaguars trading baskets. And St. Francis currently on top by 2. Good start to this one. Isaiah Tolbert bounces to his left. It's Vincent Mays firing down low for Isom underneath the basket. Isom Guarded tightly by Ramel Davis, has to pull it out under 10 to shoot. Isom drives, picks up his dribble, gives it out to the top of the key. Javon Johnson steps into a three-pointer. Tough shot, no good. Offensive rebound, put back in for Vincent Davis. Davis has all 7 for Governor State. Kind of a desperation three from Javon Johnson with the shot clock about to expire. It led to a bad miss, and it paid off for Governor State because it took a weird bounce off the rim, and Vincent Davis was there for the rebound. Joffrey Nunnally, a little bit too strong on the three, and it hits off one of the cables above the backboard, so it's out of bounds. Goes to Governor State. Nunnally, the leading three-point shooter in the CCAC this year, misses his first attempt today, and Governor State can take their first lead since the opening possession. Johnson gives it up to Isaiah Tolbert just behind the three-point line. Three-point attempt from him. This is short. He's 0 for 2 from beyond the arc. An excellent three-point shooter in his own right. Best that the Jaguars have. Slow shooting start for him today, though. Nunnally out to Merrick Small. Small bounces once, hands to Ramel Davis. Three-pointer, no. Davis got hot from three-point range on Thursday night in the semifinal win against Olivet Nazarene. At his best offensive game of the season. Drive from Isom, and he's fouled on the floor. Governor State has won a couple of thrillers so far in this tournament. They knocked off the number 2 seed Indiana Northwest on Tuesday, 104 to 101. And then on Thursday, they were able to go to South Bend and pull off the upset there as well, or Calumet rather, pull off the upset there. That was a little bit less of an upset, the 6 seed. So they beat the 2 and the 6, and now trying to take out number 1 at home. Javon Johnson drives right down the lane. Johnson is fouled on his way up. 14:58 to play first half. We'll get a timeout here, and then Governor State will shoot free throws. Jaguars and Saints tied up at 7 by winning the regular season. So for them, they're kind of playing for Indiana Northwest today, at least a little bit. I don't think they particularly care about Indiana Northwest, but Indiana Northwest certainly cares about them right now, as Javon Johnson fires the first free throw and makes it. CCAC is guaranteed 2 bids to the national tournament. Those bids go to the regular season champion and the tournament champion. If both are the same, then the second place team from the regular season would get the bid. So in this case, that's Indiana Northwest. John Johnson becomes the first player other than Vincent Davis to score. He knocks down both free throws. It's 9-7 Governor State. Connor Casper, Ben Fott's on the floor for St. Francis, along with Delshawn Sims, Joffrey Nunnally, and Ramel Davis. Davis turns to face the basket, takes it in on Isom, kicked out to Sims. 3-ball, got it, he's 2 for 2. Delshawn Sims has 6 points for St. Francis, and they're back in front. Early on, this one's shaping up an awful lot like the last game. Again, 18 lead changes in a game that saw Governor State win 77-76. Vincent Davis loses the ball with Connor Casper defending. Saints on the run. It's Delshawn Sims onto the wing. Bounce down low to Davis. Ramel Davis working patiently. Back to the basket. Turnaround jumper. No good. Rebound tipped out to Joffrey Nunnally. Bounced into Connor Casper. Casper, nice move. The reverse layup puts the Saints on top by 3. First points for Connor Casper. St. Francis matches their largest lead early. Neither team has been up by more than a single score over the first 6+ minutes today. Vincent Davis surveys the scene, passes to his right, find Vincent Mays, and Mays knocks down the jumper from the mid-range. Nice shot by Mays. His first points for anybody from the field for Governor State outside of Vincent Davis. Saints are able to break the full court press. It's Delshawn Sims back at the half-court logo. Sims takes his time, bounces over to Casper. Back across to Sims on the right. Looking down low, finds Ramel Davis. Davis fires across court. Quick release, Joffrey Nunnally from the corner. He's missed his first 2 3-point attempts. Here comes Governor State with another chance to reclaim the lead. Backing in Vincent Davis over Connor Casper and in. Tough shot from Davis with the tight defensive pressure from Casper. Davis has 9 already. Governor State's back in front. Davis tries to knock the ball away from Casper. Connor Casper keeps it alive. Davis gets back in on the play defensively. Ben Fatz working against Mays. Backs in. Bounces out to Ramel Davis off his shins, but he's able to keep it going. Delshawn Sims from the corner. 3 for 3 from the outside. Delshawn Sims has matched Vincent Davis with 9 points. And St. Francis is back in front. Great back and forth action over the first 8 minutes today. See if either team can gain an edge going forward. Governor State still working with their 5 starters on the floor. Vincent Mays driving on Ben Fatz. Up with the right hand. Tough shot off the backboard. Difficult angle for Vincent Mays. He ties the score at 15. Both teams look sharp on offense in the first half. Sims bounces to Davis. Connor Casper around to his right. It's Delshawn Sims, the hot shooter early today. Joffrey Nunnally catches that one at Vincent Davis in his face. Couldn't let go of the 3. Instead, he keeps the possession alive. Back to Nunnally. 2 seconds to shoot. And it's thrown out of bounds by Nunnally. He was looking for Connor Casper. Casper was cutting. Looked like Nunnally thought he was going to stay outside. Didn't much matter because I don't know if they would have had time to get a shot off had Casper even made the catch. Second unit in for St. Francis. Nick Nigo, Sean Richardson, Don Joachim all on the floor. Don Joachim back today after missing Thursday's game. So it's 5 subs out there for Ryan Marks. Davis puts the ball on the floor, walks it up to the free throw line. Jump stop inside, working hard and earning 2 more points. Davis taking contact on the last couple of possessions and scoring anyway. Governor State has a 2-point lead. Don Joachim near the far sideline, bounces into Ben Fatz. Going one-on-one with Vincent Mays. Fatz squeezes his way between 2 defenders and lays it in. Baskets aren't coming easy right now, but they are coming. Both teams showing some good moves in the paint. First points of the game for Ben Fatz. We're knotted up at 17. Isaiah Tolbert sets up the offense for the Jaguars. It's Vincent Davis just inside the 3-point line. One step, backs up and gives to Vincent Mays. Down low, Tyrell Isom working against Don Joachim underneath the basket. Reverse layup is good for Tyrell Isom. Governor State's not missing right now, and it's not just Vincent Davis anymore. Everybody's getting in on the act. Jaguars have made 6 of their last 7 shots. Don Joachim gives it outside to the center. Ben Fatz throws it out of bounds, looking for Sean Richardson. 10:03 to play first half. Governor State has the ball in a 2-point lead. Aitor Anabadarte checks back in for Connor Casper. Anabadarte averages 16.5 points, 8.5 rebounds per game. Both tops on the Fighting Saints. Had one of his best games of the year. The last time these 2 teams met, he scored 26 points, just missed 28. He had a shot rim out at the buzzer that would have given St. Francis the win. Javon Johnson bounces down low to Tyrell Isom. Isom fighting against Don Joachim inside, rolls it up and in. Biggest lead for Governor State. They're up by 4. First time either team has led by multiple possessions. Aitor Anabadarte bounces over to Ben Fatz. Sean Richardson on the wing. Down low looking for Anabadarte. It's knocked out of his hands and out of bounds by Vincent Davis. It'll be St. Francis basketball after a timeout. 9:21 to play first half, 21-17. They hosted Robert Morris and actually got upset as the number 1 seed in the conference championship game 9 years ago. Aitor Anabadarte takes a dribble inside the free throw line, spins inside, knocked away by Vincent Davis. Don Joachim takes it right back, but he's called for a foul. Very physical early on. Officials are letting him play underneath the basket. Well, at that time, Joachim got a little bit too much of the body of Vincent Davis. So he's called for the foul, his first. Third on St. Francis. Saints going through a bit of a drought right now. Been 2 minutes since they scored. And Governor State has been able to take a 4-point lead, their biggest so far. They have been red hot from the field. Trying to keep it going. It's Isaiah Tolbert driving. No good at the rim. He wanted a foul call, but again, they're letting him play inside, going both ways. Sean Richardson fires ahead to Aitor Anabararte. Back to the point guard Richardson near half court. Bounced over to Ben Fatz. Richardson for three. Way off, and a loose ball foul called on Aitor Anabararte. That'll be his first. Governor State shooting 64% from the field so far today. They're 9 out of 14 from the field. St. Francis has had to overcome first half deficits. In fact, they've had to overcome second half deficits in both of the first 2 rounds of this tournament. They were hoping for a faster start today, but they have proven themselves a second half team for sure over the last few weeks. Jump shot misses from Javon Johnson, and a loose ball foul called on the Saints. So that's 5 on St. Francis, and that's the first on Nick Nigo. Merrick Small is back on the floor for St. Francis. Tony Bates goes to the bench for Governor State. He brings in Dakari Graham. Kevin Vance is also playing for the Jaguars, but for the most part, they have gone with their starters over the first 12 minutes. This guy's playing big minutes right now. Tyrell Isom passes to his right. It's Kevin Vance shuffling his feet. Vance is called for the travel. Turnover committed by Governor State. And the Saints will try to end their shooting slump. Not necessarily a huge shooting slump, I guess, as it is an offensive slump. They've turned it over a few times. They haven't gotten a lot of clean shots off. However you want to categorize it, though, it's been over 3 minutes since they've scored. Sean Richardson bounces and passes into the corner for Nick Nigo. Nigo feeds Aitor Anabararte. Anabararte working against Davis. Backs in towards the basket. Defensive foul called on Vincent Davis on the block. That'll reset the shot clock to 20. It'll give the Saints a chance to inbound from underneath the basket. Vincent Mays is back in. Vincent Davis grabs a seat after picking up his first foul. Great start for Davis today. He's got 11 points already. And now he gets to sit down for the first time. Sean Richardson is the inbounder for the Fighting Saints. Finds Merrick Small, gives it up to Don Joachim. Back to Small on the wing. Merrick Small gives it back to Joachim. Only 2 men who have touched it in a while. Lob low for Small. Great body control in the air. He's able to adjust and lay it in. Great play by the Fighting Saints. They're back to within 2 points as Merrick Small has his second bucket today. Javon Johnson crosses over on Sean Richardson. Works his way to the hoop. Can't quite finish. Good defense from Richardson. Johnson's able to get the shot off, but as it rolls around the rim, does not fall for him. So the Saints can tie or take the lead here. Small spins inside, kicks into the corner for Nigo. Here's Sean Richardson from the wing. Bounce to Merrick Small. Shot clock has run down to 10. Small drives, pulls up in the lane, and scores with the left hand. Merrick Small ties the score at 21. He's been impressive in the first half today. 6 points for him. Delshawn Sims leads the way for the Saints with 9 on 3 3-pointers. Rashad Smith working his way to the right, and he's fouled by Don Joachim. Joachim, a defensive ace for the Fighting Saints, playing Smith very tight. And ultimately a little too tight. He's called for his second foul. Saints have hit their limit with 6. So the next one will send Governor State to the free throw line. Ramel Davis checks in for Don Joachim. 6:20 to play in the half. It has been awfully tight so far. 6 ties, 6 lead changes in just 14 minutes of basketball. Takari Graham along the baseline, runs into trouble. Now has to get rid of the ball, finally finds Vincent Mays. Mays spins inside, throws a wild one up off the side of the backboard, but Takari Graham is there to clean it up. Great heads-up play by Graham. And Governor State is back in front. That ends a drought of their own. They had gone about 3 minutes without scoring. Saints went 3+ minutes just a few moments ago. Davis backing in on Rashad Smith. Ramel Davis off the glass, too hard. Rebounded by Vincent Mays. Graham streaks the other way. Picked up inside the three-point line by Sean Richardson. Bounced underneath the basket. It's Kevin Vance spinning. Vance takes it in on Anabadarte, kicks to Mays. A lot of movement here from Governor State as Javon Johnson pulls up, passes outside. Vance gives to Graham. Dakari Graham along the baseline. Awkward angle, can't finish the shot. Mays tries to save it and does. Shot clock resets. Three-pointer for Johnson, short. Rebound grab by Merrick Small. St. Francis comes up with the double stop. Merrick Small on the other end has the ball stripped, gets it right back. Aitor Anabadarte feeds Sean Richardson. Saints move it around the perimeter. Ramel Davis to the rim, scores, and a foul. We're tied, and Ramel Davis can give St. Francis the lead. It is 23-23. Davis at the free throw line on the other side of a timeout. I'll be right back. And then we're down by 10 a few minutes into the second half, and they came from behind and pulled out the win against Olivet in a game that was in doubt until the final minute. Today, this has been about as even as can be early on. Ramel Davis trying to give St. Francis the lead back, and he does. There's our 7th lead change of the day. 24-23, St. Francis. First points of the night for Ramel Davis, senior from Florida in his second year with the program here in Joliet. Dakari Graham bounces around half court, fires to his right, and Rashad Smith. Smith guarded by Anabadarte, off to Smith. Kevin Vance back to Dakari Graham. Here's Javon Johnson backing up. Johnson fires the three and misses it short. Rebound Delshawn Sims. Vincent Davis still on the bench for Governor State. He's been the best player for the Jaguars today when he's been out there. Davis gives it to Sims. Looking down low for Anabadarte. Beautiful pass to the cutting Davis, who finishes at the rim. Great feed from Anabadarte. Great cut from Ramel Davis. Davis has scored the last 5 for St. Francis, and they've matched their biggest lead of the first half. Up 26-23, just under 4 minutes to play. Javon Johnson pulls up, finds Vance in the corner. Kevin Vance drives on Anabadarte, up with a left hand and in. Good reach from Kevin Vance. He's got his first points today. He pulls the Jaguars to within a single point. Joffrey Nunnally, still scoreless for St. Francis, swings it around to Delshawn Sims. Davis back to Nunnally on the wing. Nunnally gives it to Merrick Small, lob down low for Anabadarte, and Anabadarte is fouled. There has been a lot of very physical play on Aitor Anabadarte down low. The Jaguars are really taking advantage of the fact that the officials aren't calling a lot underneath the basket. And so for the most part, they've been playing as tight as the officials will allow them to play. That time they played a little bit tighter. And it led to one of their own players getting hurt. Kevin Vance still on the floor. He was able to pull himself up and walk off to the sideline, but he's shaken up. Getting talked to by the trainer down on the Governor State bench. We're ready to continue, though. The Jaguars bring most of their starters back onto the floor. Tyrell Isom is in, Vincent Davis, Isaiah Tolbert. So it is the starting 5 playing for Tony Bates' team. Shot clock at 20 as the Saints inbound. It's down to 13 now. Ramel Davis from the corner. Working against Isom, bounces inside, puts it off the rim, and gets the bounce. Davis has scored the last 7 points for St. Francis. He went on a run like that in the second half on Thursday. Had a magnificent second half against Olivet, guiding the Saints to the win. Isom to Davis. Vincent Davis takes it in on Aitor Anabadarte, spins inside, misses, and the rebound is grabbed by Merrick Small. Anabadarte from the wing, drives, reverse layup is good. Aitor Anabadarte has just his second field goal of the game, but an awfully impressive one. He's got 4, and St. Francis has their biggest lead, 30-25. 2.5 minutes to play in the first half. Governor State trying to finish this half out strong. St. Francis has certainly taken the momentum away. Governor State was so hot from the field for a while. They've cooled off considerably. Javon Johnson drives on Delshawn Sims. Turnaround jumper. Tough shot. Couldn't get it to go. Offensive rebound. Davis can't quite put it in, but he will go to the free throw line. Foul is called on Joffrey Nunnally, and that's his second. 2:03 to play first half. And Vincent Davis goes back to the free throw line. Davis is a 63% foul shooter. He's made 5 out of 7 shots from the field today, but misses on the free throw. Sitting at 11 points right now. Ben Fatz and Nick Nigo return for St. Francis. Isaiah Thomas makes his first appearance for Governor State. Davis makes 1 of 2 free throws. These two teams split in the regular season. Saints had a 4-point win at Governor State. Governor State won a thriller by 1 here in Joliet. Another tight one today. Ben Fatz's pass is knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with the Saints. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Davis is the inbounder. Looking for Anabadarte, bounces to him just inside the 3-point line. Anabadarte works his way in tight, misses the layup, but the rebound goes to Tyrell Isom. He's able to grab it away from Ben Fatz. Governor State can pull within 1 score. Good drive from Anabadarte on the other end. Not quite able to finish the tough shot. Isom gives to Davis. Vincent Davis working with the ball in his hand. Spins into the paint. Fights his way in tight with a nice shot off the glass. Good play, Vincent Davis. He's got 14 points. And Governor State trails by only 2. Delshawn Sims slows it down a touch for the Saints. We're under a minute to play in the first half. Ramel Davis, Tyrell Isom. Davis goes up and draws the foul. Ramel Davis to the free throw line. Slow start today for Davis, but he has turned it up over the last few minutes. He's got 7 points. Trying to add 2 more as Tyrell Isom sends him to the line. Second foul on Isom. 6th on the Jaguars. Both teams will be in the bonus the rest of the half. Not much time left in the half, but just in case. Ramel Davis makes his first free throw. He's 2 for 2 from the line today. Sean Richardson, Connor Casper are in for defense for the Saints. Davis a perfect 3 for 3 from the line. And now tied with Delshawn Sims for a team high 9 points. Tolbert takes it up to Sean Richardson, taking his time. Bounce for Davis, poked away by Casper. Good hands from Connor Casper, and Sean Richardson scoops up the loose ball. Saints can extend their lead just before halftime, about a 10-second difference between the shot and game clocks. And Ryan Marks wants to talk it over from the bench. Who they're playing and where, and who else is in their location. Governor State trying to make it into the national tournament as well, but they need a win today. Richardson bounces to Anabadarte. Back to Sean Richardson. Aitor Anabadarte was brought back in the game for this offensive possession. Nick Nigo wide open for three, and Nigo knocks down his first shot of the game. Saints have the biggest lead of the half, 35-28. Here comes Tyrell Isom, trying to work his way in tight. No good. Davis with the follow, misses. 2 seconds on the clock. Sean Richardson from half court, just off the back of the rim. St. Francis can't quite get the half court shot, but they do end the first half on a roll. The three-pointer from Nick Nigo puts them up by 7, but they pulled out victories in both of them. We'll see if they can, this time, coast in the second half after leading through the first 20 minutes. A 7-point lead is the biggest they've had all game. And they'll try to expand it even further on their first possession of the second half. Ramel Davis working inside, blocked from behind by Vincent Mays. Vincent Davis saves it, but right to Aitor Anabadarte, who lays it up and in. It was a good play by Vincent Mays, but that was one where he probably should have just let it go out of bounds. It's tough to save it underneath your own basket. Didn't have any help there. And the Saints turned it into 2 points. 6 in the game now for Anabadarte, as Ramel Davis is called for the foul on the floor. Fouled Tyrell Isom on the drive. Isom has 4 points today. Governor State would love a bigger contribution from him. He led the team with 18 points in their win on Thursday at Calumet. The guy who really has got to step up for the Jaguars, though, is Javon Johnson. Johnson came into play today, second on the team, averaging 13 points per game. Their best outside shooter. Today he has just 2 points on 0 of 6 from the field, including 0 for 3 from three-point range. Tyrell Isom puts it on the floor, works his way inside, gets Davis in the air. His jumper misses off the rim, and the rebound is grabbed by Aitor Anabadarte. Saints can extend the lead to double figures, but Joffrey Nunnally misses the three. Open look for Nunnally. There's one player who hasn't gotten rolling yet for the Saints today. Vincent Davis takes it inside, right to Aitor Anabadarte, who knocks it loose, and the Saints force the steal. 5th turnover for Governor State today. St. Francis has been able to score off of all of them thus far. Merrick Small up top. Handoff to Ramel Davis. Davis around the screen, drives to the right, knocked away. Isom gets the steal. Bounced ahead for Tolbert, and Isaiah Tolbert finishes at the rim. That's a big bucket for Governor State. St. Francis was threatening to extend their lead beyond 10. And instead, the Jaguars are able to pull back within 7, quiet down this Saints crowd a bit. It's a good crowd tonight, considering especially the fact that spring break is underway at the University of St. Francis. Knocked away by Isaiah Tolbert out of bounds. Just the same, the student section is as full as it's been all year. 18:09 to play, second half. Good Governor State contingent as well. Traveling not too terribly far, but still traveling to try to see their team make the NAIA tournament for the first time since 2018. Early in the tenure of Tony Bates, who's now in year number 10 as the head coach of the Jaguars. Ramel Davis tries to get it into Anabadarte, nearly stolen by Vincent Davis. Saints keep it alive to Delshawn Sims, who misses the three. Merrick Small grabs the rebound. Back up for Small and in. Merrick Small is 4 for 5 from the field today. Hasn't played huge minutes, but when he's been out there, he's been impressive. 8 points, 5 rebounds. Here's Javon Johnson, pull up 3. Still 0 for the field today, 0 for 7 now. Joffrey Nunnally out to Delshawn Sims. Another chance for St. Francis to make it a double-digit lead. Neither team has been able to claim that all game. Anabadarte into Merrick Small, knocked away by Vincent Mays, and Mays is called for the foul, going over the back of Small. First half of this game saw 7 ties, 7 lead changes. Governor State led the majority of the way, but then St. Francis came to life over the last 4 minutes or so. Really turned things around. And Governor State hasn't been able to shake out of it to start this second half. Merrick Small off balance on the run, gets the roll. Beautiful play by Merrick Small, now 5 of 6. He is the first Saint in double figures with 10 points. The lead is 11. Tolbert fights his way inside, gives it up to Isom. Tyrell Isom out to Vincent Mays. Jaguars haven't gotten Vincent Davis going yet this half after he scored 14 in the first. Tolbert misses the three. Quick shot from Tolbert, and Aitor Anabatarte grabs the rebound. Jaguars are unraveling a little bit. Saints are trying to take advantage of that by pulling away early in this second half. They've outscored Governor State so far 6-2 since the intermission. It's Ramel Davis over to Joffrey Nunnally on the wing. Finds Merrick Small at the elbow. Small lobs it down low. Anabatarte double team, scores anyway. Timeout called by Governor State. Saints are making tough shots, and they're making them look easy right now. All 5 of their starters had at least 9 points. 4 of the 5 were in double figures. On Tuesday, in the win against Indiana Northwest, all 5 of their starters were in double figures. Javon Johnson had 28 points that game. Today he's got 2. Credit in large part goes to the St. Francis defense, which has been really tough. Isaiah Tolbert into the corner, backing up. It's Isaiah Thomas firing the jumper, no good. Rebound Delshawn Sims. So Tony Bates trying to shake things up with his bench a little bit. Not able to get the spark he was hoping for out of Isaiah Thomas on that possession. Back to work for the Saints. Small to Anabatarte, misses the layup. Frustrated with himself, he pounds the wall before heading back on defense. Isom down low to Vincent Mays, blocked by Small, but a foul called. And Mays is able to fight through the contact and score. Big play, Vincent Mays keeping Governor State in the game. He'll go to the line to try to make it a three-pointer. First foul called on Merrick Small. Vincent Mays, who has 6 points, at the line to try to make it 7. 43-33. The Jaguars badly needed that one. Now we'll see if they can come up with a few more defensive stops. Anabatarte takes the ball across half court, picked up by Vincent Davis. Anabatarte works his way inside, misses the shot, but it's rebounded by Merrick Small. Small gives it to Delshawn Sims. Sims finds Nunnally on the wing. Nice pass from Ramel Davis, and Davis gets the roll. Beautiful setup by Joffrey Nunnally. Davis finishes it off. He's at 11 points. Lead is back to 12 for St. Francis. Approaching the 15-minute mark. Tyrell Isom over to Thomas. Isaiah Thomas takes a step back, bounces to the top of the key, and Vincent Davis. Davis right down the lane. Tough angle, no good. Rebound Delshawn Sims. Saints have numbers. Delshawn Sims blows by Isom, gives to Small, and Small is fouled at the rim. 14:53 to play, second half. Merrick Small goes to the free throw line out of the timeout. They played some of their best basketball against the number 1 team in the conference. Both games between these two teams during the year came down to the final minutes. And in one case, the literal final second. Today, the Saints have been able to create a little separation. See if they can keep it going as Merrick Small makes the first free throw. 46-33. Small's having one of the better games he's played in recent memory. 11 points for him. He is 5 of 6 from the field. He's also got a game-high 7 rebounds. And now he's got a team-high 12 points. It's a 14-point game, biggest lead of the night for the Saints. Tyrell Isom right down the lane. Tough shot with the right hand. He scores it. Well played by Tyrell Isom, who picked up his 3rd foul just prior to the timeout. Now a tough full court press from Governor State. Delshawn Sims is able to beat it. Sims guarded by Vincent Davis. Bounces to Merrick Small. Small works against Vincent Mays, gives it back to Sims. Drive to the left. Sims gets to the rim, blocked from behind by Davis. kept alive under the basket and knocked out of bounds last touched, or are we going to get a foul here? We have a foul prior to the ball being knocked out. Foul against Governor State. It's on Isaiah Thomas. Third on Governor State. Ben Fotz checks in along with Sean Richardson. Delshawn Sims and Merrick Small head out. Nunnally and Davis, the only two starters on the floor right now for the Saints. Nunnally to Casper. Connor Casper passes to the top of the key. Ben Fotz with 11 to shoot. Down to the corner, Richardson. Richardson gets by Tolbert. Tries to bounce it to Davis. The pass came in a little bit too low. And now we've got a scrum for the loose ball. The possession arrow favors Governor State. So the Saints turn it over with just a few seconds remaining on the shot clock. Second turnover of the second half for the Saints. Fifth of the game. Jaguars have plenty of time to make a run. But you have to go back 15 plus minutes of game time before they were in any kind of offensive rhythm. Thomas on the wing. Takes a few dribbles, steps back, fires a three, and knocks it down. Big shot, Isaiah Thomas. His first points today, and back to the full court press. Casper to Nunnally, and Nunnally gets it across the timeline. Saints slow it down once they set up the half-court offense. It's Richardson taking a few dribbles to his right, cross back over to Ramel Davis. Davis working against Isom, backs it in, 6 to shoot, turnaround, Davis off the rim. Gets his own rebound. Second chance, doesn't count. An offensive foul is called on St. Francis. The foul was not on Davis. It was on Ben Fotz, just slightly away from the ball. So a tough break for Davis because he fought for his own rebound and looked like he had scored on the second chance. But instead, some bodies got tangled up just to the side of him. And so Ben Fotz is called for his first foul. 9-point lead for St. Francis. Governor State hanging around after they had trailed by 14. Isom lobs it down low for Davis, and Davis is held by Connor Casper. The foul's starting to pile up on St. Francis with 12:54 to play in the second half. First on Casper. Saints have committed 4 this half. Isaiah Tolbert is the inbounder. Tolbert towards the sideline off the fingertips of Tyrell Isom and out of bounds. The Jaguars turn it over. Costly turnover. For the first time in a while, it felt like Governor State was starting to take momentum. And that momentum, like the ball, slipped right through their fingers. See if the Saints can take advantage. Knocked out of bounds by Tolbert. 16 on the shot clock. Saints will inbound from right in front of their own bench. Aitor Anabarate checks back in. Nick Nigo comes on as well, as does Don Joachim. Nunnally, Casper, and Davis to the bench. Late sub coming on for Tony Bates as well. He wants Kevin Vance to check in. So Vance will spell Vincent Mays. Don Joachim tries to get Anabarate, uses his long arms just barely to keep it alive. Richardson into the corner, Joachim. He gets the screen. Running out of time on the possession. Joachim drives, gets the contact. A little bit too hard off the backboard, but he'll go to the line for 2 shots. Foul on Vincent Davis is his second. 4 fouls this half on both sides now. Don Joachim, 63% from the free throw stripe this season. Adds 1 point to the St. Francis lead, 48-38. First point to the game for Joachim. He's got 2. 11-point game. Isaiah Tolbert sitting on just 2 points for the night. Gives it up to Isaiah Thomas. Vincent Davis still hasn't scored in the second half. Vance, long 2, rims out, rebound Richardson. Joachim all alone for 3. He's got 5 in a row. And St. Francis builds their lead back up to 14. Don Joachim knocks down just his 7th three-pointer of the season. Not a huge shooter, but you can't leave him that open. Davis shuffled his feet. Governor State turns it over, and St. Francis reclaims possession. I called it out at the time. It seemed like Governor State was starting to make a little bit of noise. They'd scored 5 straight points, and then a sloppy turnover gave the ball back to St. Francis, and the Saints have completely grasped momentum right back from them. They've scored the last 5 points. They've got the ball back. Aitor Anabadarte at the high post gives it up to Sean Richardson. Richardson to Nick Nigo. Nigo looking for his second 3 of the game, and he's got it. It's an 8-0 St. Francis run. A game-high 17-point lead, and St. Francis, they close the first half, shooting 22% over the last 8 minutes or so. And they haven't picked it up much since the start of the second half. There is still time, but they've got to make their move quickly. Isaiah Thomas, step back 3, off the rim, no good. Good offensive rebound for Davis. Inside Vance, and Kevin Vance is fouled. Set up by the Vincent Davis rebound. That was a difficult offensive board. He kept the possession going. And now Kevin Vance gets to go to the free throw line. Foul is number 2 on Ben Fatz. Vance, 75% from the line this year. Misses the first. St. Francis is on an 8-0 spurt here. Nearly doubling their lead in the process. And it finally comes to a close on Vance's free throw. Ends a drought of more than 2.5 minutes. Richardson over to Joachim. Aitor Anabadarte bounces to his left. That's Ben Fatz. Half the shot clock gone for the Fighting Saints. Down low, Anabadarte working one-on-one with Davis. Anabadarte's got the size advantage, trying to use it here. Turn around in the lane, no good. Rebound tipped a few times, and finally pulled in by Isaiah Tolbert. He starts the break for Governor State. Long 2 misses for Isaiah Thomas, and the rebound goes to the Fighting Saints. Richardson creates a little space, gives it up to the big man at the top of the key. Anabadarte has the ball poked away by Isom, but Ben Fatz is there to keep it alive for the Saints. Richardson bounces into the post. Fatz backing down, stripped and fouled. Foul is number 2 on Kevin Vance. Ben Fatz to the line for 2 shots. Senior from Germany in his second year with the program after transferring from Olney Central College. He hits the first free throw. 3 points in the game for him. Rashad Smith back on the floor for Governor State. Second attempt, gets the bounce off the front of the rim. Halfway through the second half, St. Francis has extended their lead by 11 since halftime. They've outscored Governor State 22-11. Inside, Vance throws it in. Nice ball movement and a strong finish from Vance. Saints look to break the press. Davis applies the pressure on Aitor Anabadarte. Tolbert tries to dive on a loose ball, knocks it out of bounds. It'll stay with the Saints coming out of a timeout. 57-41 to get into the national tournament. A loss would drop them below 500, so they certainly would not be in consideration for an at-large bid. Great end of the season run. They've won 5 of their last 6. But they need to turn it on in a hurry here in this game if they want to make it 6 out of 7 and keep their season going. Sean Richardson with 7 to shoot. Passes back to Don Joachim. Fakes the shot, drives, step back jumper. Joachim in the lane. 59-41. He has stepped up on offense in the second half, 7 points. Tolbert spins inside. Joachim goes for the steal. Tolbert keeps it alive, throws it across court and finds Tyrell Isom. Isom bumps with Nick Nigo, kicks it out to Tolbert, nearly lost it again, but Tolbert keeps it alive. Now he does lose it off the leg of Sean Richardson, out of bounds. 11 on the shot clock as it stays with Governor State. Merrick Small, Ramel Davis back on the floor for the Fighting Saints. Isaiah Tolbert inbounds to Kevin Vance. Here's Tyrell Isom. Long 2 is good. Nice touch, Tyrell Isom. He's got 8. Richardson trapped in the corner, able to get it off to the inbounder, Anabadarte. Sean Richardson walks it towards the sideline, gives to Davis. Saints running some clock here. Nick Nigo bounces for Small. It's been a big game for Merrick Small so far. Trying to add 2 more points, but he comes up a little bit short. Tolbert on the other side for Governor State. Down low for Davis. Vincent Davis creates some space against Anabadarte, scores and 1. First points of the second half for Vincent Davis. He scored the first 7 of the game for Governor State. Ended up with 14 points in the first half, half of his team's total. That was not only his first field goal of the second half, it was only his second attempt. And he misses the free throw. The foul was number 2 on Aitor Anabadarte. He's got 8 points, 6 rebounds today. Tolbert called for the foul on Sean Richardson going after the steal. And that's number 6 on Governor State. So both teams hit their foul limit in the second half. We'll get free throws from here on out. Davis is able to find Merrick Small. Small drives the baseline, blocked by Vance. Starting the break the other way, it's Vincent Davis. Good transition defense from the Fighting Saints. Governor State has to set up their half-court game, and they give it up. Vance is called for the travel. Kevin Vance turns it over. Saints basketball, 7:38 to play. Joffrey Nunnally, Delshawn Sims back in the game for St. Francis. They've got all 5 starters out there. Sims across the timeline. Settles at the logo and bounces off to Anabadarte. Saints work it around the perimeter, looking for Ramel Davis in the post. Sims gets it to him. Davis turns to face the basket. Driving on Rashad Smith. Off the backboard, no. Second chance, he's fouled. Davis has fought for a couple of offensive rebounds here in the second half. And this time he gets himself to the free throw line. Trying to add to his points total. He's at 11 right now. Rashad Smith is called for his second foul. First free throw from Ramel Davis rims out. We'll take one more as Governor State goes to their bench. Vincent Mays is back in. Javon Johnson back on the floor as well. So like St. Francis, they've got all 5 starters in. Davis misses them both. Rebound to GSU. Down by 14, trying to make a game of it late. Tyrell Isom backs up behind the three-point line. Taking his time. Hand off to Javon Johnson. Drive down the lane, got it and one. Isaiah Tolbert. Beautiful drive. Possession that felt like it wasn't going anywhere. There's a lot of standing around and dribbling. But Isaiah Tolbert took matters into his own hands by cutting towards the rim, getting the contact, and now he can make it an 11-point game. 6 straight points for Governor State. And they can't make it 7. Both teams all of a sudden having some free throw problems. Delshawn Sims guarded full court by Javon Johnson. Walks it across the line. Nunnally over to Davis. Delshawn Sims hassled by Johnson, gives to Merrick Small, 8 to shoot. Sims gets the screen, rolling to his left, bounces it in for Small, out of his reach and out of bounds. Saints have gone cold on offense. It has not really hurt them so far. They've led by as many as 18 points. And over the last 3 minutes, they haven't scored. Governor State has taken a big chunk out of that lead, but still a double-digit game. The Jaguars will get a chance to cut 2 more points off the lead from the free throw line. Foul called on Delshawn Sims, number 2 on him. Javon Johnson going to the line. Johnson is 0 of 7 from the field today. He's gotten his only 2 points from the free throw line. Looking to pick up 2 more, and he's got the first. (59-48). This one's not over yet. Saints led by 18 points with 9 minutes to go. And now it's 11 as Governor State misses another free throw. Jaguars are just 6 of 11 from the free throw line. If this one gets any closer, they're really going to be ruining some of those misses. Sims out to Nunnally. Trying to find Anabadarte inside. He goes low and bounces the pass to him. Anabadarte, 5 to shoot. Jump shot off the rim, no good. Rebound Davis. Jaguars on the run once again. Pass deflected, out of bounds, and staying here. Tony Bates came sprinting in just to confirm that call. After the call was made. Wanted to make sure his team is keeping the ball. It was deflected out by St. Francis. 5:48 to play. 59-48 the score. Drive from Tyrell Isom, and he's fouled on the floor. Number 9 on St. Francis, so Isom will go to the free throw line. Very much still a ball game here with 5:46 to play. Isom, best free throw shooter on the team, has a 1-and-1 here, trying to snap out of this free throw shooting funk that the Jaguars have been in. He makes the front end, he'll get 1 more. It was a 7-point game at halftime. Saints began to pull away pretty early in the second half. They built the lead up to as many as 18 points. But the run for Governor State is now 9-0, and they have cut that lead in half. Davis passes out of the double team to Delshawn Sims. Now the Saints have a 1-man advantage. Nunnally for 3. Ring it up for Joffrey Nunnally, his first points of the game. And they come at a big moment to snap the Jaguars' run. Saints by 12. Bounced in for Vincent Mays. Mays corrals it, flips it up, and misses short. And a foul called on Isaiah Tolbert. Going to send Delshawn Sims to the line, going the other way. That's the problem with going down by 18 points. You can go on a run, you can get hot, take that momentum away, but it's hard to maintain that for a full 9 minutes. They did it for about 4, and now the Saints are back in control. They got the big 3 from Delshawn Sims. Excuse me, from Joffrey Nunnally. Now it's Delshawn Sims at the free throw line, trying to add a couple more points. 1 and 1, and he makes the first. This to make it a 14-point game. And all of a sudden, a little 5-0 surge for the Fighting Saints. 64-50, 5:20 to play. Isom around Davis, gets into the paint, floats it up off the glass, no good. Rebound deflected a few times, and finally into the hands of Ramel Davis, who is fouled by Vincent Mays. So now Davis is going back to the free throw line. The Jaguars are a physical team to begin with, and they've been forced into a position where they have to play aggressively on defense, trying to force turnovers if they want to make a comeback. But that is not something that they've wanted. They've fouled twice in a row in the backcourt. So the Saints have had the opportunity to score points without even having to run any offense. Still a 1-and-1 for Davis, and this is a guy who has all of a sudden, kind of out of nowhere, struggled at the free throw line the last couple of games. He's got to make the first. And he doesn't. Rebound grabbed by Merrick Small, though. A chance for the Fighting Saints. Delshawn Sims sets it up. Bounces over to Anabadarte. Back to Sims. 8 to shoot. Nunnally open at the top. And this time he misses the three-pointer. Rebound knocked out of bounds. Last touch by the Saints. 4:51 to play. Second half. Did not force overtime. They took a lead in the final minute. Governor State, though, scored in the closing seconds. And the Saints had one last chance but missed at the buzzer. This time they wanted to make things a little bit calmer. They've had a double-digit lead most of the second half. Vincent Mays backing in, has the ball knocked away, chases it back down. His pass is deflected and stolen. Aitor Anabadarte secures the loose ball. And we're at the stage of the game now where the Saints would love to score, but even if they can't, running clock is a huge detriment to Governor State. Anabadarte over to Ben Fatz, just inside the three-point line. Looking around and throws it out of bounds. He was trying to find Anabadarte. Aitor was cutting. And it leads to a turnover. So they do run about 20 seconds off the clock, but again, just a consolation as they weren't able to add any points. Saints working on a zone defense right now as Vincent Davis backs up behind the three-point line. Pass to the cutter. Tolbert gives it up to Mays, and Mays is bumped. Great ball movement by Governor State. They'll get 2 free throws. Third foul on Anabadarte. It's the 10th on the team, so double bonus the rest of the way for Governor State. Saints are in the double bonus now as well. And that's good for the Jaguars because this is not one of their better foul shooters. He's guaranteed 2 attempts, but he does make the first. 62% this year. Second shot for Mays. Hits off the front of the rim, doesn't go. Anabadarte grabs his 8th rebound. Ramel Davis drives around Mays, misses the layup off the glass. Tough fight for the rebound. Javon Johnson holds on to it. Tolbert lobs for Davis, who finishes at the rim. The alley-oop from Tolbert to Davis cuts the St. Francis lead down to 11, 18 points for Vincent Davis. Delshawn Sims picked up by Davis. Here comes the trap. And it's taken away by Johnson. Javon Johnson is fouled by Delshawn Sims, and he'll go to the free throw line. Governor State stepping up their defensive intensity. They've been able to force a few turnovers here. Pulled themselves back in it. Saints turned it over just 3 times in the first half. Number is 6 in the second half. Not a terribly high number. But clearly the Governor State press has gotten to them a little bit. Javon Johnson's a perfect 4 of 4 from the line. Sorry, he's 3 of 4 from the line. 4 for 5 now. Counts for all 4 of his points. Chance to once again get within single digits. And they do. They were down by 18. This is the second time since then that they fought back to within 9. Delshawn Sims is trapped and fouled. Foul called on Javon Johnson. And Sims is going to the free throw line on the other end. This has been a really physical game. In the first half, the refs let them play. Second half, it's been tougher to do that, in part because of the pressure defense. There's been a little bit more physical activity far from the basket. So both teams in the double bonus here. Sims sets up for his first free throw. He's got 11 points in the game, and he misses the first one. Sims hasn't been great from the line this year, just 60%. One more chance here. He made 1 of 2, back to a 10-point game. Isaiah Tolbert sets things up from near half court. Passed off to Isom. Down low, Davis. Davis backs in, loses the ball, gets it back, throws it off the rim. No, there's Vincent Mays with the tip. Anabadartse hit the deck. He thought it should have been an offensive foul, no call. And now Vincent Davis knocks it out of bounds. It'll stay with the Saints. 27 on the shot clock. So 3 seconds run off the possession so far. 3:03 to play in the game. Anabadartse bounces to Nunnally. Nunnally to Anabadartse. Saints need to get it across half court. It's taken away by Davis. And a timeout called by St. Francis. Saints pulled back onto the floor. They had gone off to the sideline, but again, they were not ultimately granted the timeout. So there is no timeout. They have to come back onto the floor, and Governor State will inbound from the baseline. Vincent Mays bounces it off to Javon Johnson. Johnson drives, stripped by Sims, and a foul call. Johnson's doing a nice job of getting himself to the line. The guy who's had some big games for Governor State this year, including in this tournament. Hasn't been able to get rolling today. 0 for 7 shooting from the field, but he has found his way to the line a bunch in this second half. These will be his 7th and 8th free throws of the game. He's 5 for 6 so far. He can make it a 2-possession contest with a lot of time left. Still 2:49 on the clock. Johnson's got 6 points. Second shot, no good. Rebound deflected. Benfatz pulls it in. Anabadartse starts to dribble, passes off to Delshawn Sims. Sims immediately trapped over to Joffrey Nunnally. Nunnally finds Ramel Davis, and he slows the game down. Still a 3-possession lead for St. Francis after the missed free throw from Johnson. Delshawn Sims gets around Davis, and Davis gives him a foul. So Sims is going back to the free throw line. Third foul on Davis. Again, Sims is not the worst guy to send to the line. Just under 60% shooting free throws this year. Still, if you're Governor State, you would much rather have seen that possession play out, especially because the Saints are in the double bonus now. So 2 shots for Sims automatically. And this is the first. Both teams have been not so great from the free throw line in the second half. Sims goes 0 for 2, and the rebound grabbed by Vincent Mays. Governor State can pull within 4 or 5 points here. Bounce down low, it's Mays. Mays fighting his way inside. Foul called on the defense prior to the shot. So that's on Ben Fatz, and it'll send Vincent Mays to the line for 2. Basket does not count. 65-58, still our score, 2:14 to play. 4 fouls on the St. Francis big man. This has really turned into a grinded out game. It looked for a long time like the Saints were going to pull away. They had pulled away. They were up by 18 with 9 minutes to play. First free throw is good. You can't say that either team has had an advantage at the line. Both teams have struggled. But Governor State's trying to make some big ones right now. 1 out of 2. It's kind of been the standard. Still a 6-point game. Delshawn Sims given some space along the sideline. Fires ahead to Nunnally. Ben Fatz misses the dunk, but he's fouled by Mays. On a close game late, free throws are always a big part of the story. They've been a big part in a negative way today. We'll see if that changes now as Vincent Mays picks up his 4th foul. So both teams now have a big with 4. Which could be a major issue. First shot for Ben Fatz is good. He's got 5. He is a perfect 3 of 3 at the line. First half, the 2 teams went a combined 6 for 7 from the free throw line. In the second half, we've seen 6 misses from St. Francis, 7 misses from Governor State. Saints are 11 of 17. Jaguars are 10 of 17. 8-point lead for the Fighting Saints. Under 2 minutes to play. Javon Johnson drives, blocked by Fatz, and he knocked it off of Johnson. Saints basketball. What a big block from Ben Fatz, playing with 4 fouls. He's able to get the rejection and give the ball back to the Fighting Saints. Johnson still scoreless from the field. Aitor Anabadarte inbounds to Joffrey Nunnally. Saints trying to break this press again. They're able to do it. As Anabadarte gets it to Davis, and Ramel Davis is fouled by Javon Johnson. Back to the free throw line with Davis. It's been a while since St. Francis has made a field goal, but they've been heading to the line quite a lot lately. So most of their recent production has come from the free throw line. First free throw attempt from Davis is good, and we're at a point on the clock now, unless Governor State knocks down a couple of threes, which is something they haven't done all game. That's exactly, in fact, what they have done all game. They've hit a couple of threes. That's it, all 38 minutes. If they don't hit a few more in the next couple, they're really going to have to foul to slow this game down. Davis makes both free throws. Saints sitting a little bit more comfortably again, back up by 10. Here's Isaiah Tolbert. Tolbert crosses to his left, fires a long 2 and knocks it down. It is a 2-pointer. His foot was over the line. 69-61. Joffrey Nunnally is able to beat Tolbert, who dove after the ball, and the Saints get it into the front court. They could run the clock down now to under 1 minute. Ramel Davis into the paint, kicks it back outside to Nunnally. Cross court Davis, 15 to shoot. Sean Richardson back near half court. Shot clock runs under 10. Richardson working against Tolbert. Tolbert goes for the steal and gets called for the foul. I get the aggressiveness from Tolbert, but at that point in the possession, just not very disciplined. If you're going to commit a foul, you can't do it 25 seconds into the possession. And now Sean Richardson is at the line, trying to make it a double-digit game again, but he misses the first free throw. Richardson goes 1 of 2, 70-61. Don Joachim enters the game to add a little extra defense for the Saints, who are now 64 seconds away from a conference tournament championship. Tyrell Isom works his way into the paint, and that's a travel. Governor State has gone on a few big runs here in the second half. It's been impressive the way they've worked their way back into the game. From down 18 all the way to down 6. But they've made a few costly mistakes over the last minute. And it might just be enough to cost them their final chances in this one. Saints get it across half court. Davis is trapped. Vincent Davis knocks it away, and he draws the foul. 48.8 showing on the clock. Vincent Davis will go to the line. Foul is the third of the game on Ramel Davis. He's got 3. Delshon Sims has 3. Ike Torana-Badarte has 3. Joffrey Nunnally has 3. Ben Fatz has 4. That's everybody who's on the floor right now for the Saints. Under a minute to go, unless this one goes to overtime, those fouls are probably not going to be a big issue. But there are a lot of them. Davis knocks down the first free throw. 19 for Davis. He scored the first 7 of the game for Governor State. He had half their points by halftime, 14 of their 28. Saints have mostly bottled him up here in the second half. He has not gotten very many easy looks. Didn't have a lot of easy looks in the first half when he was scoring either. He's up to 20 for the game. 7-point lead, St. Francis. Ramel Davis is fouled immediately by Mays, and that'll foul Vincent Mays out of the game. Vincent Mays had a really nice second half. Scored 7 points, 11 for the game, and he's done. 11 points, 4 rebounds, a couple of big blocks. And he'll have to watch the rest of this one from the bench. The last 47.7 seconds of the season for Governor State, unless they can pull a rabbit out of their hat here. This will be a 3-score game the next time the Jaguars touch it, whether Davis makes 1, 2, or none. Trying to add to the Saints' 7-point lead. Ramel Davis has a team-high 13 points, and he misses the first free throw. Davis has been close to an 80% foul shooter throughout this season. But the last 2 games, he's had a whammy on. 1 of 2. He leaves. Joachim comes back in for defense. 47.7 seconds to play. 71-63. Governor State's got to work quickly. Torana-Badarte tries to make him pick the ball up. Isom does. Now he races across half court. Isom stripped by Ben Fatz and taken away. Nunnally picks up the loose ball, and the Saints dribble around a bit. Don Joachim outside the 3-point line. Governor State doesn't look like they're going to foul. They'll just play it out. Timeout called by St. Francis as Nunnally had turtled up at the end of the play. 71-63. lot of good free throw shooters on the floor right now for the Fighting Saints. Governor State will try to force the quick turnover. Fatz is the inbounder. He's able to get it to Annabeth Arte. And there's the foul from Tyrell Isom. So Aitor Annabeth Arte heads to the free throw line. It's been a relatively quiet day for Annabeth Arte today, especially compared to his previous efforts against Governor State. 50 points between those two games. Today he's at 8. He can get to double figures if he makes these two free throws. He does get the first. Tough shooting night, 4 out of 10. But he's gotten himself involved. 9 points, 8 rebounds, a couple of steals, 3 assists. So he's filled the stat sheet. He's got one more foul shot. He's got 10. That's exactly the difference in the game right now. 73-63. Governor State gets it back. Tolbert shovels it off. Three-pointer for Isaiah Thomas. Can't bank it in. Rebound Annabeth Arte. That should do it. He saves it from going out of bounds. Now the Saints just need to get across half court. They do it to Sean Richardson, and St. Francis has pulled off the double championship. They won the regular season, and now with one final buzzer, the Fighting Saints are CCAC tournament champions as well. Heck of a season for St. Francis, and it will go on. 16-4 in conference play during the year. They were able to come from behind in the second half in each of the first 2 rounds of the CCAC tournament. And in this one, after a back and forth first half, they jumped out to a big lead early in the second half and were able to hold on despite a Governor State run late. St. Francis improves to 25-5 for the season, and they are moving on to the national tournament. Governor State needed a win today if they wanted to do the same. They had a few shots at it, but came up a little bit short, and so their season comes to an end today. The win for St. Francis also means that Indiana Northwest has locked up their bid to the national tournament as well. We're about 2 weeks away from the start of that tournament. The Fighting Saints fans acknowledge their conference championship team. March 14th is the start of the NAIA tournament. First 2 rounds at the regional locations, March 14th and 15th. And if they can get out of that, they'll be headed to the final 16 in the next week. I'm going to turn up the mic here. Let Dave Laquetta introduce the conference champions.
To the championship game of the 2025 tournament, they came in as the number 7 seed and pulled off 2 upsets to get to tonight's championship. Presenting tonight's conference regular season and tournament championship plaques to the University of St. Francis, CCAC Commissioner Jeff Schimmelfennig.
So there you have it, a couple of plaques for St. Francis. They win the regular season and the conference tournament. They are headed to the national tournament up next. Some of the final numbers from today's game. Fighting Saints shot 49% from the field today, 44% for Governor State. Saints were led by Ramel Davis, 14 points. They also had 6 rebounds. Merrick Small and Aitor Annabeth Arte both just missed double-doubles. Small had 12 points, 9 boards. Annabeth Arte had 10 points and 9 rebounds. Leader for Governor State was Vincent Davis. Davis finished with an impressive double-double of 20 points and 11 rebounds. Not quite enough for Governor State as they finished their season 15-16, trying to pull off a wild run through the CCAC tournament. They started as the 7 seed, pulled off 2 upsets, but not quite able to finish in the final game. St. Francis wins 3 games in 5 days. They capture their first conference tournament championship in 6 years, and they win the double, both the regular season and the conference tournament. They'll head to nationals next. You can keep up with everything and where they're going, who they're playing against, everything about the national tournament over at GoFightingSaints.com. So check that out for more information. That's going to do it for today's broadcast and for our coverage of the University of St. Francis basketball this season. Thanks for tuning in today and throughout the year. Hope you had a good time tonight. It was a fun game. Saints win it 73-63. This is Terry Bonadonna signing off from the University of St. Francis in Joliet, Illinois. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday night.